Okay, thank you. Welcome everyone to the reporting changes for the Edge v2 to v3 info session. If you have joined the previous v2 to v3 transition info session, there may be some duplication of information. Today's session is mostly going to focus on the changes in the system that affect the 3CTN reporting, and mainly for those that are using the reporting portal. But it is also important to know if you are using Edge as your live CTMS as well. Okay, so first let's go with the overview of the key changes. The key changes affecting the reporting portal sites and Edge reporting in general is the new front-end technology. So the change in the interface from v2 to v3. So the biggest change is everything is made so it's more vertical. So every time you click into one of the tabs, all the navigation for that tab will be located on the left hand side of the page, and then all the other information will be on the right. Also, the folders and files system has been improved. So you're now able to drag and drop documents into Edge instead of using the file browser to find and upload your files. In terms of terminology and some location of resources, the library entities and attributes are now referred to as forms and fields. So for example, the priority patient entity that we used in v2 is now just called the priority patient forms. So if you're ever looking for an entity or attribute, they'll be under the forms and fields. Patients are now referred to as participants in the system. So any of the patient tabs or patient fields will now be called participant fields or participant tabs. This is just to be more inclusive of all the types of research, as Edge is not just used for clinical research. Global projects are now referred to as all projects. So in the projects tab, when you're searching for a project, you used to have the assigned projects, organization projects, and the global projects tabs. You still have the assigned and organization tabs, but now global projects will be referred to as all projects. So you just look at the same results, it's just a different name. And instead of tabs, it's now a drop down that you can select on the left. Settings is now under configuration and project settings. So if you're clicking to allow patient transferring to skip some patient status steps, this is now located under the configuration tab. I will be going over a live demonstration of all these changes at the end of the presentation. So I'll just go through all the main changes and their screenshots and then go through a live update as well. And finally, the allow patient transfer, where previously you would have a checkbox that said did not occur here. It'll just be now ignore. Okay. So one of the biggest or most noticeable changes at when you first log in to Edge v3 is that your home screen will be relatively blank. This is because you need to set up and customize your dashboard. So you can do this by clicking Edit Dashboard and choose which widgets you want to appear on your main dashboard. For reporting portal sites, we recommend adding the notifications, favorite projects, add participants, and last viewed projects to your dashboard, as these will be the most useful widgets for you in terms of completing your 3CTN reporting. Once you add the widgets, you can then adjust them by clicking in the corner and dragging and dropping their size. So just drag up to adjust, make it smaller, to the right to make it wider. And then you can always move them around and reorder the widgets based on your preference. The logos, so to differentiate if you're in the Edge Live system or Edge Demo system, will be on the left-hand side here. So you'll see an Edge with either a stamp of demo or just Edge, and that I'll refer to as your live system. And your organization, which you're logging into, is at the bottom of the page. Also in V3, you still have your user profile, so it's still located under your name at the top. If you go to My Profile, and then you can go to Notifications to edit which notifications you want to receive. So when you go to Edit Notifications, you'll have a list of notification types and their descriptions on the left. And then you can choose whether or not you want to be notified within the system or via email or both. So now there's an option to receive an email for any notification type. So if you're not logging into Edge daily, then it may be beneficial to set up an email notification, especially for organization involvement requests and approvals, just so you get an email notifying you if someone's asking for access to a project or if your access to a project has been approved. So next is trial navigation, different levels. So again, it's still the same data levels within the system. You still have your site, project level, project site, and what was previously referred to as patient level is now referred to as the participant level. So it's still the same idea. You saw the project level, which is green, project site, which is red, and then the participant level, which is blue. When you are searching for projects, the project search page is noticeably different. So still under the projects tab at the top, but all the search criteria is on the left. And it's going to expand and collapse the search criteria. And then in the scope, this is where previously it was the Assign Projects tab, Organization tab, or Global Projects tab. It's now just located in this drop down here. So you can choose which level you're looking at. And then you still have the project level by clicking on the project short name. And you can get to the project site level by clicking on the project site name here as well. Once at the project level, you still see the green of the project level, and all the project level navigation will be on the left. Where previously you had some tabs at the top and some tabs on the left, it all gets moved to the left to be able to quickly navigate through the project level. And all the project information is still here, although the sponsor and funder information will be under the stakeholders section here. The project settings is under the configuration tab here. And then you can still go to staff here to add yourself as staff. So once you go to the site level, you still see the red banner indicating you're at the site level. You have the site overview page still. The noticeable difference is that we had 3 main sections on the project site level page, which were just one after the other. But now you have the core details and then the approvals to the right, and then underneath that is the milestone dates. So instead of having to scroll down multiple times to get to the milestone section, is now all shown at the same time. You'll still need to adjust the approval section to choose site activation, same as in V2. You can get to the participants or the patient level by clicking on the Participants tab on the left. And this will bring you to the participant information, which is the blue or light blue section here. Again, this is just demo data, not actual patient information. But you still have the status, patient status workflow information over here. So the dates of when they're approached, consented, recruited. You can edit the status at any time, and you can take patients off if you need to as well. And then you still have the safety reporting. It's up here, safety reporting. It used to be called event reporting or events, but it's just referred to as safety reporting in V3. And then you can also add the priority patient information under the forms section, which is previously called the attributes section. So you just click on forms and then add the priority patient form. Okay, so go over viewing and adding portfolio trials for reporting purposes. So you'll start off by searching under the projects tab, searching for the project that you're interested in. If it's not found under your site's project, then you'll need to add this project to your organization by searching the all projects list on Edge. So once you found the project from the all projects list, you'll need to add or request involvement, and then once you've been approved to access, you'll still need to add your project site and add yourself to the project and project site level. So if you find the project and your organization does not have access to the project, you click on the Organizations tab and then click on Request Involvement to the right, and then Request Involvement. Once you have been approved access to the project, you'll need to go back to that project, go to the Staff tab, and then add yourself as staff with Manage Access. You can also use the quick Add Me feature in version 3, which quickly adds you to the site or to the project level or the project site level, depending where you are, instead of having to search for yourself from the staff list. You can also add a team or other staff members as needed. Okay. So after you've added or you've been approved access to the project and added yourself as staff and any other staff members that needed access to the project, you'll need to add your site to the project by going to the Sites tab, Add Project Site, and then select a site and click Save. To be able to add a site, your organization needs to be involved in the trial, and you need to be added as staff to the trial with Managed Access. So if you're not seeing the Sites tab on the left, then double check that your organization is involved in the project and that you're added as staff under the Staff tab for the project. Okay, so what this looks like in the system, you click on the Sites tab on the left, then add a new project site. This will look slightly different than V2, but same idea. You search for your project site, click on your project site, and then you just have to fill out the status and status date. Previously, you had a pop-up window that had multiple data fields that you can fill out. In V3, it has been simplified, so you just click on your site name, and then you just need to add the status and the status date in order to add a site to the project. Once you add your status and status date, you can just hit Save. Then it'll bring you to the project site level, where you'll see the project short title and your site name, along with all the navigation tabs on the left for the project site level. The next step would be to add yourself and other staff members to the project site. So again, you just go to Staff tab and add staff by searching for the staff and clicking the check mark next to the staff member's name, and then choosing the access level for that staff member. So Manage allows you to edit the site, the project site level information, and Clinical allows you to see participants and add participants to that project site. So entering the trial performance data. So this is the open to recruitment date, the RDB submission approval dates, and your target recruitment numbers as well. So at the project site level, we still have the three main sections: the core details, milestones, and approvals. But it now goes core details, approvals, milestones, instead of just going completely vertical in previous versions. So in the first section, the core details, still the same idea. You're still clicking on edit to edit the information within that tab or within that core details. And then if you don't see that edit button, you need to make sure that you have manage access to the project site level. And if you have manage access and you still don't see the edit button, then just check to see who the site owner is. If it says 3CTN, just let me know and I can transfer the site level to you so that you can then complete your edits in the system. We had moved all the active trials to the individual project sites. So you should have access to all your active portfolio trials, but some of the historical trials may still be owned by 3CTN. Just let us know and we can transfer that to you. Then you have the project's site status. So this is a mandatory field for 3CTN reporting. So you just need to check what the current status of the project is at your project site. And then you'll also need to add the status date of that project site status. The status date doesn't auto-populate the milestones date at the bottom of the page. So if you add open to recruitment and you add the open to recruitment date here, you'll still need to add it in the milestone section under the open to recruitment date field. The next mandatory field is the target recruitment. So the target recruitment for the entire life cycle of the project. And this shouldn't be updated annually. It should just be the overall target for the project as a whole. New to version 3, it will also show you the actual recruitment to your project site right underneath the target recruitment. So as you recruit patients, you can see the difference between your target recruitment and your actual recruitment. Next section is the approval section. So when you go to the approval section and click edit, you'll need to select the approval process. So go to the approval process dropdown and then select site activation. By doing so, it gives you more fields to fill out. Mainly the date site confirmed participation, which is the field that we use for the start date of site activation process date that we collect for 3CTN reporting. Then you have your RDB submission approval dates. Again, similar to V2, it's still the day, month, year format, and you can use the calendar options to choose the date from a calendar if necessary. And just a note, RDB dates are the initial submission and approval dates, so these shouldn't change with your annual updates or annual renewal dates for RDB. Okay, and then the final section is the milestones section. This section, again, just click edit to edit the information. The mandatory fields are the open to recruitment date. So if the site is, if your project site is open to recruitment, then you need to enter the open to recruitment date. And then similarly, the recruitment end date is a mandatory field. So when your site closes to recruitment, you need to fill out that date as well. Okay, so reporting and tracking of patients. So the patient information remains the same of what is mandatory, the subject ID, date consented, and date recruited. Date consented is only necessary for multi-stage registration trials, but date recruited is what is mandatory for all patients. And if you don't have a date consented, you can use the date recruited as the date consented date. And then supplemental information. So this is only for if the patient is a priority patient. So if they're AYA, so 15 to 39 years of age, or remote trial participant. So you only need to fill these out if they are AYA or remote access patients. Okay, so then manually adding a participant. So there's two options still in version 3. You have the add participants button from the dashboard, but note you need to have added this widget to your dashboard in order to see it there. And then you have the project site level, go to participants, and then add a new participant. Both these require the project site and project level to be open to recruitment, and you need to have clinical access to these project sites. Okay, so starting from added participant using the added participant button. Once you click it, you'll be brought to a added participant wizard where you can select the project and project site. This will only list the projects and project sites that you have clinical access to and that are open to recruitment. So if you don't see a project here, double check that it's open to recruitment at your site and that you have clinical access to that project. Next, it'll bring you to the next page, which is all optional fields. So you don't need to fill this information out for 3CTN reporting. If you click on the next page, it'll bring you to the details, which subject ID is the only mandatory field to be completed on that page. And then the status page where you can fill out the dates of recruitment and consented. But note, all previous dates must be filled in. So if you only have the date recruited, you can copy and paste the date recruited into the previous sections and then hit next. Okay, and then adding a participant from the project site level. So you just click on the participant tab from the project site level and then add a new participant. So bring it to the add new participant wizard, which starts with the identifiers again, which are all optional fields. And then the next page has the subject ID, which is a mandatory field, and then the status dates where you can fill in the date recruited and then fill in all the previous dates. Again, if you're just using Edge as a reporting portal for 3CTN, you can just copy and paste the recruited date for all previous fields. But if you're using Edge as your live CTMS, you would likely have the actual dates for consented, screened, approached, and pre-screened. Okay, so reporting and tracking patients using the bulk import functionality in Edge. So there's two main ways or two main importing ways for Edge. There's what we call bulk import or the management tab import. So if you go to the management tab and go to the participant import field or tab, it'll be able to download a template. And you can fill out the information there and then add a new import and upload your CSV file with the added data into Edge. So previously, we had to create import maps matching an Excel that we wanted to import. Now it's just a overall import template, which has the all the optional fields in an Excel, just in different columns. But you still only need to fill out your project site name, short title, date, subject ID, date consented, and date recruited for that information. And you can ignore all other columns. Okay. Yeah. So like I said, once you fill out the Excel template, you can click on the add a new import to upload that template into Edge. Then you'll need to validate the import and import participants into Edge. You can also do a detailed import, which gives you more data, more information that you can upload for the participants. So this includes all the patient status states for that trial. So if it's an interventional trial, it'll give you all the interventional project patient status dates. And if it's an observational trial, it'll give you all the observational status dates. So it's the same process. Just go to the import participants at the project level, download the import template, and fill out the relevant information. Again, with the basic information being the patient subject ID, date screened, and date recruited, and screened by and recruited by. Okay, once you fill out the Excel, again, click on the Add a New Import button, and then review your information in the Import Preview pane. And then if everything is okay, validate and import the participants into the system. Okay, so reporting and tracking patients, priority patient reporting. So for priority patient tracking, you only need to add this to patients that meet either the AYA criteria or the remote patient criteria. So if they are a AYA patient, age 15 to 39, then you can select yes or no. If they're a remote patient, then you can select yes or no, and then fill out the relevant remote access information as well. And more information can be found on our website. So for priority patient tracking, again, you can navigate to your project and then your project site, and then go to the participant page, and then click on your participant name, which should be anonymous, because we didn't add our participant name. We only add the subject ID. And once at the participant level, you'll click on the Forms tab, select Add a New Form, and then this will bring you to the Add a New Form wizard, where you can choose the form from the dropdown. So in most systems, it would be called priority patient, unless you created your own field in Edge. So it should be priority patient. Once you select the priority patient, you can then select which fields you want to fill out. So in this example, this is a remote access patient. So you would add the remote patient, satellite site name, type of satellite site, date of remote access initiation, and then satellite site clinical trial conduct to give more information of what is being done at the satellite site. And then there's also comments that you can add just to, again, explain the situation of this remote patient. Once you check the fields over here, they will appear on the right, where you can then fill out those fields. So remote patient, yes, satellite site name, Prince George, or whatever the satellite site name is. And then you can continue down filling out the fields. And then once you're done, you can hit save. So once you fill out the priority patient forms for all relevant participants, you can then run a priority patient report, going to the participant forms report, previously known as the patient attribute report. So still under reports, and then it'll be participant instead of patient, and then forms instead of attributes. So how that looks in the system, you go to reports, participant, and then forms report. Then you would load a report. We should have a report saved as priority patient report version 2, or some variation of that name, priority patient report. Once you load that report, it'll look something like this, where all the data fields are on the left, so what will show up in the report, and then all the filters on the right of the report. You may need to adjust the date of remote access initiation so that it captures the current fiscal year. So for the greater than, you want to be greater than March 31st, 2023. And then the less than, you want to be less than the 1st of April, 2024. And then you also want to do that for the date recruited as well, just to make sure that you're capturing the current fiscal year, just for ease of reporting. And then you would click run, and then you can download the report to Excel. Once the report is downloaded, you can go to the current 3CN reporting project. So it'd be in year 10 is 3CN reporting year 10 for adults or for peds, depending on your site. Then you go to your project site level, go to the documents, and then go to priority patients report folder, or you can then drag and drop the file into the gray area, or click on the gray area to use the file finder window to find the file within your system and add it that way. It's important to note that you should check the public switch before dragging and dropping the file, as this will mark the file as public. If you don't have it switched on before you drag and drop, the file will be uploaded, but won't be public. So if you do that, you just need to edit the file and check public so that 3CN will be able to see the file and download the file for reporting. Okay, so M&D reporting. So again, this is done at the reporting project. So you need to navigate to the reporting project of that fiscal year. So that in this case, again, it's reporting year 10. Once you go to that project, you need to go to your project site level, and then to the forms tab, and then you'll see all the M&Ds in the forms. You can click on any of them to expand them. The Schedule G form or forms and fields are for 3CN to complete. All the other M&D fields are for you to complete on your own. The Schedule G is uploaded as a file to the project site level. Okay. So to enter M&D information, just click on any of the forms to expand the fields. And then to update, you just need to edit the status and comments of each of the M&Ds. To do so, just click on the pencil icon to the right of the field to edit the information. So basically, you're just adding a status to this M&D goal. So for example, goal 1 is target of 100% above pre-3CN baseline. And then you have a little bit more definition of what that is for your site. And then what your status is to that M&D. So if it's in progress, choose in progress, and then you can add any comments reflecting your status. So why you're in progress, what does your progress look like, and so forth. Once you have completed your reporting, you can click on the reporting progress form and choose the current quarter. and then edit the information, clicking on the pencil icon, and then choosing what has been reported for that quarter. So there's NA options here available if you haven't reported any patients. So if you recruited 0 patients, you would choose the patient recruitment NA. Just let me know that you confirm that there's no patients for that quarter. Same thing with AYA and remote access patient file. So if you have no remote access patients to report, just check the NA field, and that will let me know that I don't need to look for a AYA or remote access file for your site. Right. Schedule G reporting. So there'll be a Schedule G template uploaded to your project site level or shared with the Q4 reporting reminders. This is the annual report, so it's only done in Q4. Once you fill out the Schedule G template, you can upload it to your project site level for the reporting project. So again, you just go to your reporting projects, documents, and then annual Schedule G folder. And then just do the same process for uploading a file. Make sure it's marked as public, and then drag and drop the file into the gray area, or click on the gray area to use the file finder tool. And finally, under the support tab, there is a video of all the changes for V3 produced by the Edge UK. So it's about a 30 to 45-minute video going over the key changes of Edge version 3 in a little bit more detail than just the reporting aspects. Okay, so now I'll just go into Edge and do a live demonstration of all these changes. Feel free to stop me at any time if you have any questions, or put the questions in the chat. Okay. So when you first log into version 3, you'll be greeted with a welcome, and you can take a quick tour if you would want. So this is your dashboard. So like I mentioned earlier, it'll be blank until you edit the dashboard. So you just click on Edit Dashboard, and then you can click which widgets you would like to appear. So I'm just going to click Notifications, Favorite Projects, Add Participants, and then Last Viewed Projects. Okay. Had a question from IWK, Aaron. The Schedule G reporting template won't be there until Q4, because Schedule G is only due in Q4. If you're missing M&Ds, let me know. Okay.
I think M&D is there, so let me check. I can. It should be there.
Yeah.
It's just maybe the visible. So let me deal with that one and then get back to you, Eric.
Yep. Well, yeah, we'll double check the patient report. Is there later on. So once you choose which widgets you want, then you can hit save, and then they'll be added to your dashboard. You can resize them to what you prefer, and place them wherever you want as well. And then under your profile, so at the top, My Profile, you can go to your logon if you need to change your password, or you can go to the notifications to see what current notifications you have, or edit notifications to choose how you're notified about certain aspects of Edge. So there's quite a few notification types you can receive. So feel free to check and uncheck notifications. but we just ask that for the organization access approved, rejected, requested, and re-requested, that you leave those ones on, as those are important for multiple sites. So you need to know if a site requested involvement for one of the projects you own in Edge. Okay. So next is the projects tab. So when you go to the projects tab, like we mentioned earlier, there's the assigned organization in all projects level. So you can go to either level, and if you want to search for a trial, you just type in search for the short title. The clinical trials number is under the project identifiers, and then core details will have by site and disease area. If you're looking for a certain cancer disease site, you can choose so here as well. You can hit enter or just hit update results, and then the results will populate on the right here. Okay, we can then go to the project level by clicking on the project short title. We can read all the information to see if this is the correct project we're looking at. So all the project details are still here. You have your identifiers on the right, your participant types on the right as well. You also have the sites tab to navigate to the site level or add a new project site. You have the staff tab to add staff to this project or add yourself. There's still a documents tab as well for adding project level documents. The forms, so all 3CTN forms will be visible for sites to look at. So if you're looking at the impact forms or the complexity results, that'll be under the project forms for any of the 3CTN portfolio trials. And then you have the criteria, which will show whether what the inclusion and exclusion criteria are, as well as the design of the project. So is it interventional or observational? And then the support tab, which has the clinicaltrials.gov link. The stakeholders tab is where the funders and sponsors will be. So you can see who's funding or sponsoring the trial here. And then under the configuration is where you would be able to go to the project settings and edit whether or not this project allows patient transferring. And then there's the import patients participants tab, as mentioned earlier, where you can download the import template and import patients using the add a new import button. Okay. So going to sites, if we wanted to add a new project site, I just click on add a new project site. You can click on the site name, click on the status, and when that status occurred. This is the demo system, just so you're aware that I'm not entering any information on the live system, just for demonstration purposes. So I would save, and then the project site would appear here as well. And then you would need to add different staff members or give yourself clinical access to the project. You can go to the staff tab and edit your access level. Click clinical so that you'll be able to have a participants tab to add participants. If you want to go back up to sites, there's a navigation button at the top left, which will bring you back to the last level that you were at. So if I go to Abbotsford, so you can see all the core details, the site owner, site parent, the status date, how many patients are recruited, and what was the target recruitment. If your approval section on the right, and the milestones at the very bottom, you can click on edit to edit any of the information in those sections. Where previously you had the metrics and clocks on the right, they're now under their own tab. So the metrics and clocks tab. So this will show you when your first patient was recruited, what their first patient recruitment date was, how long it took to recruit your first patient, and so forth. And then there's the timeline tab, which uses the status date to populate this timeline. And you can edit or add statuses by clicking Add a Status Date. And then finally, there's the Participants tab. We can add a new participant by clicking Add a New Participant. Again, these are not mandatory. For the next subject ID, I could type in a subject ID, and then next. Then I can enter a status date. So if I only had the date recruited, I just copy and paste the date recruited into the previous fields. Also, as I have checked allow patient transferring for this project, I'd be able to click ignore if I didn't have the status date. For example, if I didn't have the pre-screened, I can click ignore, and then I can skip that status date. Okay. And then we get next. If this patient's off study, we can go through the off study process. And then we can finally add patient comments. And then next is the summary of what information we're adding. If this is correct, then we can hit finish and add that patient to the system. If this patient was also a priority patient, we can click on the Forms tab on the left, and then add a new form. And then we can select priority patient from the dropdown and select the remote access fields, and just fill them out here. So just choosing the satellite site type, and then when they started the remote access treatment at the satellite site. And then I click Save to finalize the remote access fields. And so now this patient has been marked as remote access. The next steps would be to go to Reports, Participant Reports, Participant Forms Report, Run Report, Load, and then the Priority Patient Report. This is the demo system, so it's slightly different than what the live system will look like. It's just missing a few filters. But based on what's here, it would update to reflect year 10. So March 31st, 2023, and then less than April 1st, 2024. And then we just run the report to get the qualifying patients. And then download the report to Excel. And then to finish priority patient reporting, you would go to the reporting project. I don't think there's one in Edge demo, so I'll switch over to the live system. 1 second. So in the live system, you'll have the reporting project. So we'll go to year 10. And then you would go to your site level. So this was Cambridge, but sorry, go to Cambridge. And then go to Documents, and then Priority Patient Reports folder. And then I would mark it as public. And then if I wanted to drag and drop, I would just find the document or wherever I saved it. and then just drag and drop, and then it would upload it. If you drag and drop the file and you didn't mark it as public here, you can always edit using the pencil icon and just mark public here as well. And you can always delete a file if you've accidentally uploaded it just by clicking delete. Okay. So also at the project site level for the reporting project, you have the forms, so you have your M&Ds. This needs to be completed for Q2 reporting, which is due November 15th. So you come into the system, open up any of these fields, and edit the status or comments here by clicking the pencil icon to edit. And then there's Schedule G, which is annual report. This information is filled out by 3CTN in the M&Ds. You would fill it out using the Schedule G template and upload it to the documents section. Then there's the reporting progress, which you can update by clicking on which quarter and update the report here as well. Okay. Also, it's important to note that we requested collaboration with your project site and organization for the reporting project so that we're able to see the files that you upload to the reporting project. So please double check at the project site level of the reporting project under collaborators that you see that your collaboration has been approved with 3CTN and that 3CTN's collaboration request has been approved by you as well. Okay. So last thing I'll cover quickly is the import functionality in V3. So you go to management, participant import, and then download import template. Once it's downloaded, we can open it up. And you can see that there's column headers for the information to be entered into those columns. We are the only mandatory information for 3CTN reporting is the project title, site name, subject ID, and then date screen by, and recruited by. So if I was going to fill out this information, I would just choose a site, let's say Cambridge, and then site name, MA 40. It needs to be the exact site name. So this, I would go to Edge and find the actual project name. So if I go MA 40, I can copy the project short title. MA 40. Copy site name. Subject ID. I would have the subject ID. And then for this screen date, it's day, month, year. So if I say the 11th of August, 2023, who screened them? So I have, so for Edge, it's last name, first name. We have a default fields for administrator. You can choose a default staff member or just add yourself. And since our date recruited is being used for date screened as well, we can just copy and paste that there as well. And then I would file save as, CSV, save, patient import, V3 demo, save. and then go back to the management tab, patient import, add a new import, and then choose the file. And then I would review the information, and if correct, I would validate this import and then import participant. Okay. That's it for our demonstration today. If you had any questions or concerns, please let me know.